Welcome to the Media Bubble podcast, the podcast that talks about movies, anime, comics, video games, and whatever we feel like. I'm your host, Karol, and with me as always is my co-host, Fredrik. In today's episode, we're going to talk about, my manga recommendation.
Yeah, this is as we said in last week's episode, a continuation. Last week it was me recommending 5 animes, and this week's is Karol's turn to recommend 5 mangas to me.
Exactly. And my reasoning behind choosing my recommendations is a little bit more sinister.
Oh,
So
okay.
while you wanted to give me a grab bag of stuff that I might check out, I kind of picked whatever I felt like was worth reading.
I guess you can guess in some way get a sense of our little bit of our different personalities just by reading your first slide here. The coolest manga recommendations by yours truly, Karol.
Yes, I mean that's how strongly I feel about my picks. They are the coolest.
I don't know.
For me.
I don't know if you really need to explain a lot. If you want to know some things, you can just see the last week's episode and then come back to this episode.
But if you don't feel like doing that, I'm gonna present 5 of the manga I'm reading either currently or I have read. And by the end of it, if Fredrik feels strongly about one of them, he'll read that. So since I chose a anime last time, he'll read a manga because of me.
One question just. Are all these 5 finished, or are there some of them still going?
I think I didn't plan for this, but all of the manga I picked is kind of short and still ongoing.
Oh, okay. How new are they?
Well, I mean, most of it is short, but yeah, it's all of it is ongoing.
Okay, so are all of these kind of new series, or?
When I checked the dates, most of them started their publicization between 2016, 2018, 19.
Oh, okay, that's kind of new in that case.
Yeah. And one of them started as a webcomic, which is the next one, actually.
Don't you mean the first one?
Or, yes, that's true, yes. So the first manga I wanted to recommend to you is I Fell in Love, So I Tried Livestreaming. It's from 2019, and it's still ongoing. It's comedy, romance, slice of life, and this is the one that started as a webcomic.
Oh.
It's relatively short. The second volume is out. But it happens so that the sales of the first physical volume were so low that the serialization is going online. You can only get it on the web.
But it still continues, it's just on the web.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what this is about, you can see the picture right here.
Yeah.
The green-haired guy is Yu Izunaka. So before he started this school, I think it was in high school, he was a live streamer, and he gave advice on the internet to people who needed it. But he was done with that life. There isn't really explained what he did, but for some reason, he couldn't find himself to keep streaming, so he quit streaming. He is now going to high school or college, and he decides that he wants to try getting friends and going outside and just live his best life. So he moved in with a dorm with all of these people.
Okay.
And there are some rules. So no pervy stuff, don't go into each other's rooms, and when the principal wants, you should be free to help working some side jobs.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise the rent is low and there's people to live with. It's pretty fun to live there. But to his dismay, all of his flatmates are live streamers.
Okay, I guess there were something about these 4 characters, right?
Yeah, so he is this mate, he doesn't want to go back to live streaming, but the blonde one Hakua.
Yeah.
She's streaming as she streams FPS games. So she has a persona that's called Usaigon. So in real life, she's like a preppy, really put together good girl whose grandmother is the principal of the school that they're going to.
Yeah.
But at night, she plays video games and she's being rude and crude as the live streamer Usaigon.
So she has two different personalities, you can say.
Yes, because she doesn't feel that the good girl persona is all that there is to her. Then we have the brown-haired girl, Yuzuko. So she live streams ASMR, and she never shows her face. She's like a little on the outside she's shy and a little bit timid, but when she streams she's a little bit sadistic and funny, kinda, mean girl type.
Okay.
And she really hates Usaigon because she thinks that she is stealing her views. She's feeling really down because people prefer other streamers to her.
Okay, so the two girls, they are not friends.
I mean, they don't know that they stream. Nobody in the house knows that they stream.
Oh, okay.
Then we have Sora, which is the blue-haired girl.
Wait a second. But the main character, the main guy character, he knows that everyone else streams.
Yes, every single he goes one by one and learns that they're live streamers, and of course they all want to keep his secret, so he's the only one that knows. And it turns out the situations get really insane. So because Usaigon, the blonde girl, she live streams in a maid uniform, so.
Wait,
she's doing her laundry.
Is she a girl?
Yeah, the blonde one is a girl.
No, now there's another blonde character far to the left.
To the left, right?
Yeah.
He's also a streamer, so he
is is a guy.
Yes. So in the house there are 3 guys and 2 girls. 3 guys and 3 girls. It's 50-50 ratio. So
3 girls.
Yes. Yeah. So
I missed.
Going still, but...
Now I see one. There was something in the way, so I couldn't see the third girl.
So we have, just to go back to all the characters, Sora is a virtual live streamer. She's a VTuber, and she sings. Then we have, let me see. Then we have Soto, Arvina Soto.
Yeah.
He's a soccer guy who live streams he role plays as an assassin. So he's really like Chonbyu and really edgy.
So he's a sport guy who also likes video games. Exactly.
He live streams himself as playing video games and going into the woods at night doing his ninja training. It's hilarious.
Okay.
And then we have him, Sota. So he is, as of now, he's pretty awful. He catfishes men on the internet by cosplaying as a girl.
Okay.
So he basically chats with older men just to make them a laughing stock on the internet. Imagine 4chan crowd. He's that's his target audience.
Oh, okay. Now I get this character. He's the one that looks like the Swedish among them, but he has a darker side to him.
Exactly. And because the main character knows all the girls' secrets, they're really close to him. So he thinks that he's dating all of them, and of course, being the white knight that he is, he thinks that the main character is a scumbag, so he needs to expose him.
Actually, of the 3 girls, who is the main character's love interest in? There's always a kind of love interest, and there's the love interest.
Well, I mean, the fun thing is, these 2 in the middle, Usaigon and the main character, they really like each other. They in the series they haven't really come to say I love you to each other, but both of them they are set on dating each other. They are not dating yet, but they really like each other.
Okay, so they are the kind of main couple. Okay.
Exactly, and it's mutual. And Usaigon, she also is really forward with it. She gives him presents. She dotes on him. She can be really herself with him.
Fast question.
The brown-haired girl.
No, you can continue.
The brown-haired girl is she also likes him, but he thinks of her more as a friend.
Oh, okay.
And the VTuber, the blue-haired one, that he is her manager. So he helps her like set up like events and like get more confidence. So they're friends.
Okay. The other girls are the other guys interested in some of those girls, or how does it work?
I think the scumbag is interested in the brown-haired one because they are like they have similar interests.
Okay.
And he feels like, I think that the reason why the scumbag wants to expose the main guy is because he maybe feels sweet a little bit for the brown-haired girl.
Okay. Is there something between the sports guys and the blue-haired girl then?
They're friends. They're all
Okay.
friends, and there is just so many situations happening because the main character has so many secrets to keep. The explanation for why he's doing stuff gets weirder and weirder.
Okay.
So, for example, when the brown-haired girl finds the cosplay of Usaigon, the blonde one, the main character takes it on. He just like, you know what?
Okay.
This is my maid uniform. I'm a freak. I collect maid uniforms.
In just this picture, it kind of looks like a cool dude. How is his personality?
He is really sweet, and he's really tough on himself.
Okay.
He's like, he has like a scary face, so everyone is afraid of him.
Oh,
But otherwise,
that kind
like,
of thing.
he is caring and like hardworking, and he's not, and I don't think he's like I don't think there is like slight obliviousness to him that comes with being an anime protagonist, but it's not like head scratching dumb.
Okay. How long did you say that this series is so far?
One volume, like I think one volume, no, 2 volumes are out.
Okay.
So it's not a lot.
Well,
The next,
yeah.
what did you think
let's
so far?
move on.
Let's
We can
move on.
Yeah, let's move on.
So this is the one I've been reading currently. Like I'm up to date with it.
Okay, is this the one that you like the most currently, or?
Yes, I do, because it has VTubers, which is a pretty new thing. I also like live streaming, and I like cute stories where the main guy actually, like, the main heroine and the guy like each other. It's not weird. They like put effort to be like to show affection.
Okay, next one.
Next one. Okay, so the next one.
Okay, I really see these pictures really show some interesting side in you, I guess.
3 of the characters are in their underwear or naked.
Actually, the weirdest picture is probably the one on the right, because that is the only one that looks somewhat normal.
Yeah. Okay, so Kemono Michi is still ongoing, and it also had an anime adaptation. It's a story about a pro wrestler who gets isekai'd into a fantasy world.
And who is the pro wrestler?
That's him. Let me remember his name.
Wait, that's him,
So-
the blonde character here.
No, so the guy is the wrestler.
Okay, he's the
Gonzo
wrestler.
Shibata, or
Yeah.
also called the Animal Mask.
Yeah, the animal mask. Okay.
Yes, and he was like he was really talented. Like he was an undefeated champion in whatever league he was in.
Yeah.
So when he gets transported into another world, he decides to open a pet shop.
To open a pet shop.
Yep. And the setup is this.
Is that why he looks so happy in the picture?
Yes, because the thing is, he is a massive furry.
Oh. Okay.
If it has fur, he's into that. Like he has a neighbor that's like a kobold, and like she's full of fur, and he's like, I will make a good, honest woman out of you. But Genzo, I have a husband. I'll take him as well.
Okay.
And it's like,
Okay. Let's explain a little bit about the more of the plot for me.
yes. So he wants to open a pet store.
Yeah.
But the thing is, this world doesn't have a pet culture. All of the wild animals are considered beasts because they're so dangerous. So he gets out of his way to tame monsters so that can prove to everyone that that you can make pets. He also came to this world with his own dog, which is like nobody has seen a dog before, so they all treat him like a most valuable asset to him. And with him, he has 3 companions. So, Shigura, which is the white-haired fox girl.
Yeah, she's the main one from what I can see of the cover here.
Yeah. Wolf girl, sorry. So she's the wolf girl that manages the finances. And the main character saves her from being sold to slavery by suplexing her captors.
Is she considered a pet, or...?
No. She is not. She is a co-worker.
Okay.
And the reason why she ended up in slavery because she was taking so many debts. And she wasn't really even bothered about that.
Okay.
Then we have Hanako, which is the half-dragon lady. And she is... she is a dragon, and she is coming from a royal family. She ran away from home so that she can live a life of her own. And with her, she has her servant, Carmilla, who is a vampire or zombie. Yeah, vampire maid.
And if she wants to live on her own, but she still has a maid.
Yeah, she wouldn't let her be.
Okay.
Carmilla is absolutely obsessed with her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I
have seen that before.
Also, Carmilla is really lazy and dumb, and she doesn't want to work.
Perfect combination to work in a pet store.
So, it's by the same author who made Konosuba. We know that one.
Maybe. As I said before, I'm not the best at remembering names, but if you explain some of the plot, I probably will know it.
Yeah, so the main plot is this. Wrestler gets isekai to another world. He wants to open a pet store, but he's also the savior of this world. So his destiny is to defeat the Dark Lord, but he doesn't care about that because he first suplexed the woman who summoned him to this world, showing everyone her undergarments. And now they don't have any respect for her. And also, he is a massive pervert who likes furries.
Does it ever come up that he was a wrestler again, or is that just something that happened?
No, it's quite relevant because by going to another world, his race is not human; it's wrestler. So that's like his superpower.
His race is wrestler.
Yes, it's an amazing mess. Just please read it; it's so good.
Okay.
But yes, and also this also had an anime adaptation, but the plot is a little bit different. The setup is the same, but his rival from the other world is also isekai'd, and there's like a wrestling tournament which is not in the manga. It's equally hilarious, but it's different.
That sounds like a weird change, actually.
I think it gives you reason to read the manga as well.
Okay. Well, let's move on, I guess.
Any questions?
No, I think I have some kind of knowledge what this kind of thing is. I have probably read something that's a bit like it.
Yeah, it just the jokes get more insane. It's okay. Please give it a read. Okay, so the next one is a little bit more serious. It's Dungeon Meshi.
What the heck is this?
And it's still ongoing.
Is it about food?
I can easily say it's one of my favorite manga. So this is a dungeon crawler. A party goes underground to defeat a red dragon, but it happens to so that one of the party members, what was her name again? Fallon. So the one with the meat cleaver here. She is brother to Laius, the knight of the party, and she gets eaten by the red dragon in the dungeon. The thing is, the dungeon has... Yes, she just gets absolutely eaten. Well, not really, because they... So she dies during the fight with the red dragon, and then she is being resurrected with the flesh of the red dragon in the dungeon. which is like forbidden magic.
Oh, okay.
And because of that, she gets bound to the dungeon. She transforms into like a weird dragon-human hybrid.
Wait, what is happening here? She can go out from the dungeon, right? Or
no, she is absolutely lost.
oh,
so
she's stuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
She is stuck. So her brother, which is Laios, Marcel, Chilchak, which is this little halfling, and Senshi, the dwarf, which they meet on the way, they go down the dungeon to save Fallon. They need to kill her, and then they need to separate the body, the flesh of the dragon from Fallon. They need to carve her up, because when they split the... that's what I think at least. When they split the flesh, Fallon can regenerate on her own, because the dungeon is so specific that your soul is bound to the place when you die, so you can revive in the dungeon.
Why is there a food team?
Yes. So the English name of this manga is Delicious in Dungeon. The problem is, when Fallon died, the party split. Originally,
Okay.
there were more members. There was a samurai and a dwarf, but they left, and they have no money. So they have to sustain themselves in the dungeon by eating what they find.
Okay.
So it's part dungeon crawling manga, part cooking manga.
This sounds like a very big dungeon.
It is. Basically, I really like in this manga is the world building, because it is explained like the ecosystem, how like the ins and outs of the dungeon building, and why they are forbidden, and why why they sustain villages, and why if they grow out of control, they need to be stopped by elves before the monsters go on a rampage around the neighboring villages. So not only the comedy is stellar. Like you can see, because there were poisonous flora in the dungeon, they had to skin frogs and make frog suits out of them.
Is that frog suits? Okay.
Yeah. And because Marcel is an elf, she looks even more like a frog.
Okay.
Everyone is super not thrilled about wearing frog skin.
Yeah, but they also shaped it like a frog. They
Yeah,
didn't
because-
just take the skin. They just
Yeah,
also
they just... Exactly.
they also had time to shape the eyes of the frog.
Yeah, they had to shut them up because they had to gouge out the eyes.
Wait, how big were these frogs?
Bigger than them.
Okay.
Really big. And they eat people.
Oh, okay. That makes a little bit more sense now.
Yeah. So, going through the story, we learn about the economy of the world. We learn about the culture. We learn about the extensive backstory of the characters, how the dungeon is made, its history, and also get really cool imaginary recipes where they eat where they make slime ice cream, or kelpie barbecue, where they make bread. It's really interesting because if the manga has food making in it, I will read it.
Okay. Did you read Food Wars when that was going on?
I couldn't be bothered.
If it has food in it, I will read it. Did you read Food
But it's
Wars?
on my list. I'll read it someday, I swear.
Okay.
I am
That
not a
was.
hypocrite.
I didn't want to criticize you. It just was something interesting.
So, if you like extensive world building, funny characters, delicious food, and big stakes, read this.
Okay. To the next one then.
Yes. So the next one is a little bit slower. As Dungeon Meshi had this focus on exploration and world grandiose, there's a little bit of everything. Bookworm is a little bit more focused on one character. It's still ongoing, and it's an isekai. It's fantasy slice of life and drama isekai about a young librarian, I think, that died and reincarnated as a little girl in a medieval-ish, fantasy-ish world.
We have talked about 4 mangas so far, and this is the 3rd one that has a fantasy theme.
I thought you would call call it out for being an isekai.
No, not that.
But yeah, I like fantasy. And I like this one because it really has a focus on Mai's goals. And her goal is creating books. And since she is a lone-born commoner in a medieval equivalent of like Europe, she needs to figure out the mechanics of making paper and ink and like the guild system on like how you make money legally.
Is this one a little more kid-friendly, or what do you want to say?
It is. It's not really. It's slow-paced. It's politics mixed with technology mixed with like socio-economical circumstances. So as you can see below, it has a vast it has a lot of characters.
Yeah,
a lot
I can
of them,
see that.
Yeah, so Mai's family is important to her because through her she learns the way of the land. Her friends and her sister help her set up the press.
Wait,
she then
what's her
joins the
sister?
church. So the green-haired one is her sister.
Oh, okay.
So this is Mai. This is let me see what his name is.
That's her boyfriend.
No, if you want to ship them there that early.
It's the guy in the same age range, and he's in the front of the cover with her. I think that's
so
them.
this is Lutz.
Okay.
So he knew mine before she reincarnated. So basically, yeah. So basically, when the librarian died, she took Mai's place. So she's different, and Lutz is the only one she confessed this to. Like that, she took mine's place.
Some things I wonder sometimes with some isekais is it necessary for it to be an isekai, or could it just have been a fantasy manga?
I think for this one it needs to be an isekai, because mine is bringing technology from our world into this world.
Okay.
Like paper printing and soap making. Like she plans to make like memory for kids to learn languages, and it's slow paced, but it's interesting of where it's going because she needs to navigate like nobles and merchants and clergy and her family to her own goal to owning as many books as possible.
Okay. Where does the story kind of goes to? Where does it lead up to?
It leads up. It's a little bit difficult because like in the first chapters, Mine's goal is to create books, but because she is so frail, she's suffering from this disease, the mana disease. So in this world there is magic, but people who have magic often suffer from it. And commoners without access to magical equipment usually die. So she needs to learn to balance her own health and disease, and also her dream of creating books. When she gets a little bit more grasp on that, we are introduced to her like mentor in the merchant world, who introduces her to like don't just go and create everything you can think of, because you can make money from that, and if you want to create books, you need to be smart about your business decisions.
Okay, so there's consequences to magic, you can say.
Yeah, she is not a magician, but I mean, unless she gets hands on magical artifacts that help her quell the disease, she will die. So it's really slow paced, but it's, as I said, it's interesting how like her balance between every single factor is trying to affect her life and her reaching her dream.
Yeah, slow pace, I guess, kind of relaxing, slice of life. Yeah.
But it's slice of life, yes. But I wouldn't say that's like it's a comedy.
Okay.
There's a clear goal she wants to achieve.
Okay.
Okay, and my last recommendation is The Way of the Househusband.
Okay. This one I have heard of this one. I think I read one chapter or something like that, but I haven't not a lot, I guess.
What did you hear it from? Because there is a Netflix adaptation out right about now.
I think I saw a recommendation from some YouTuber once that recommended this series, and I read one chapter or something. Don't really remember what I thought of it, but I guess I didn't really have that much time at the point, because like I said, I read maybe one chapter or something.
If you have time, give it a read. As I said, this is my recommendation list. You should read this.
If I remember correctly, this is a mob boss who isn't in the mob anymore because he falls in love with this girl. But the mob life is trying to get him back, you can say.
Not really. I think you had it right in the first part. He's a mob, not a mob boss, just like a mob personality. Like, he is a well-known gangster in the Yakuza. But one day, I think the story is he was rescued by this woman who then became his girl. And since then, he turned like full wife guy, and he stays home and make cute bentos and just like makes food and like is really on about just like being the best husband he can to this girl.
Okay, he turns his life around, you can say.
Yeah, but he's really intense. So when he gets a new Roomba, he is like, let's see what the new initiate can do. And just like puts the Roomba to the so many tests, like, and what about cleaning the evidence? And he like spills sauce on the floor to see how the Roomba can take the evidence.
Okay.
Just think like really, really, really intense wife guy, and that's the way of the house husband. It's hilarious.
Something that I wonder is every chapter just kind of does it kind of just end like like every chapter ends like the same way, or does it kind of have a continuation?
I would say there is a continuity. So events do take place one after another. It's not a gag manga.
Okay.
But like each chapter is pretty self-contained. So, for example, he meets a rival assassin from another mob boss, from another gang, and the gang guy is selling pancakes. So now they're in a standoff making in a pancake competition, who can make better pancakes.
I will make the better pancakes.
Yeah, and they're like really like that set on like, you know, the special stuff, like only like a fool would use the lesser tools for the trade. And
okay.
and it's cute because like their tips are like, you should make this salad if you wanna like clean out the stains from your clothes. You should use like carbonhydrite. And
does he have a former mob friend who also starts a new life around?
Kinda. So he has like this youngster like friend who was also like in a gang, and he takes them out like on goofy adventures, like shopping for better prices or like camping.
Exciting.
And there are more people like involved in their life of crime, and they're all batshit insane. Like there's this one lady who was like a Yakuza boss, and now her husband is dead and she has no money, so she goes to cat cafes because that's the only thing that makes her like feel emotions again.
Okay, just a quick question from your picture here, from your pictures. What is the picture about the woman that is sniffing a cat?
So the picture with the woman, that's what I was talking about.
Okay.
That's the Yakuza woman going to cat cafes because that's the only thing that makes her feel something.
Yeah, the cat also feels something, I see.
Yeah, and to your right you have like, that's how he solves problems. Like he helps this little kid doing homework, and he frames, Like, there are 10 Yakuza, and seven of them are, like, off. What do you call that? A tragedy. But how many remain? Like, 3! Yes, you solved your homework!
Okay. Oh, he helps this kid with math, okay.
Exactly, by offing Yakuza members.
Okay. Good metaphor.
Exactly. So that is the way of the Househusband. And also the end of my list.
Yeah, that was your 5 recommendations by yours truly, Karol.
By me, by yours truly.
Yeah, just from your recommendation, I can kind of sense a style from you, if you can call it that. 3 of them was in a kind of a fantasy place, like another world. One was VTubers, and a lot of them were also comedies.
I try to read other stuff. Yeah. I just never get into it that much.
Okay, you just like to have fun, I guess.
Yeah, like girls just want to have fun, and I want to read fun manga.
Yeah. Okay, can you just go through the 5 of them again quickly?
Yeah. So I fell in love. So I tried live streaming.
Mm?
The next one was Kemono Michi, which is a wrestler isekai about a furry who wants to open a pet shop.
Okay.
Next one is Delicious in Dungeon Meshi.
Yeah.
And it's about dungeon crawling with great world building and even greater food.
Mm.
Ascendance of Bookworm, isekai about a girl, a librarian who wants to create books.
Yeah.
And Way of the Househusband, a wife guy who takes it to extreme.
Ooh. So, maybe sometimes I will check out all of them. There is some things about them that made me a little bit interested in all of them. But if we are just going to talk about right now, if I have to choose one for me to read to the next episode, I'm kind of leaning towards the third one, the one with the food.
Dungeon Meshi.
Yeah, maybe that one. It was either that one or the first one that was that's locking me the most.
Yeah, so out of all of these, I think Dungeon Meshi is the longest. Right after. It's Dungeon Meshi, and then we have Bookworm, which is the second longest.
Which one is the shortest of them?
I'd say Livestreamer, but I think you'd have more fun with Househusband.
Well, I still think that into the next episode, I still think I'm probably going to choose the dungeon one.
If you do, I'd be so grateful.
That just feel a bit more like my style, if you can call it that. I love kind of stories where they take this one place and just explores the world in so many different ways.
Yeah, and this has that. The dungeon is thoroughly explained. The world has history and conflicts, and it's just a delight to learn more about the place.
Yeah, that sounds like my kind of style when it comes to mangas. Plus, it's a comedy.
Exactly.
And about food. So many things I like. Food, comedy, and world building.
Okay, so I'm glad that you enjoyed my list.
Yeah. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is that I took the longest manga, and well, I'm not sure how I will manage it time-wise, but I will try, I guess.
Look, I am not gonna force you to read all of it. Just read it in your own pace to the next episode, and or the one after. And so as far you are, I'll just try to avoid spoilers. That's it.
We haven't really talked about this one, but is the next episode when we have watched this, or will we do something else in between?
We'll decide that off screen, I think.
Yeah, maybe something we shouldn't talk about right here and now.
Yeah, so if you're keen about when we're going to talk about our recommendations, stay tuned.
Yeah. Something to look forward to, I guess.
But it's not gonna be long. I think like an upcoming week or two, it should be out, I think.
Yeah. Not too long, but at least time for us to read and watch, I guess.
Yeah. So I think that with that, thank you for listening. We hope that you enjoyed the list and maybe you found something that you found interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, like and subscribe, rate us 5 stars. Enjoy your life and
yeah, have a good life and good night and things like that.
have a good life and good night. Goodbye.
Our recommendations. Goodbye.